Hello, good afternoon. It's me again. Yeah, so this is something I actually meant to do yesterday. Well, I wanted to do yesterday, but go through a five-card draw tournament in its entirety. And I was going to do that no matter if I busted out in the first hand or won the damn thing. And no matter what happened, I was gonna put this video up in its entirety, the whole thing. Sometimes I had such a crappy cold, which I still have in the morning. This is first thing in the morning. God, I felt terrible. I just couldn't stop. Just had such a runny nose. I thought, this is just, I can't do this. So I just didn't bother commentating and thought, well, I'll do the commentary thing later. It doesn't matter if I do it later. And then you don't get the sound effects, which I think actually makes it better. So anyway, this is five card draw. I'm trying to get into five card draw a little bit. I've only played like half a dozen of these tournaments now, or something like that. I actually had a look but my record, my like ROI and all my stats for the four kinds of tournaments that I've played over the last little while, year or whatever it is now. So fixed them at Badugi. Play 77 of them. 77 of those tournaments. Not very many, is it? But just play when you can, which kind of isn't that often for me. And I've won three of them though out of those 77. It's not too bad. One second place, one third place. 81% ROI. That's not too bad. I mean, considering it's a fixed limit game, variance is just through the roof. You've got these 8 minute levels. It's really hard to get a huge ROI there, so I don't think so. 81%. Every dollar I put in, I'm getting a dollar 81 back. That's so far. Small sample size though, as all of these are. So hard to really tell that much. But I feel like I have an idea there in that game. And that was fixed at pot limit. It's certainly more possible to have a bigger ROI there and play 72 of them. 175% ROI, right? Two, it's hard to know whether that's good, lucky, unlucky. 13 top three finishes I've had in 72 attempts. Two wins, five second places, six third places. Uh, bit which makes me think I'm a bit unlucky not to have a better ROI, really. But that feels at 175 seems crazy. So I don't know. Don't know about that. And also in both of those, the fixed limit and the pot limit, I know I've made mistakes for sure. So and there's things that I could do better. Uh, not sort of telegraphing my hand a little bit, like I've got a big draw or whatever, you know. But I know I feel that I have a bigger edge in the pot limit Badugi, so it's than the fixed limit. Doesn't surprise me that my ROI is a bit bigger. It's a bit bigger now. So the other one, no limit single draw, different game. Um, 83 of them, three wins, three second places, four third places. 151% ROI there. That's not too bad. Um, can't complain at that. Again, I feel like I have a clue. Maybe I'm close to optimal, but I feel if I start to play bigger games, these are all tiny buy-ins. That's kind of why the ROI. I'll talk about 550 is about as big as it gets in any of these. So that's just because the buy-ins are so small, have managed to get a good ROI. Might just be luck. I feel like I've had my share of bad beats too, though. So I don't know. Hard to really tell. There is some terrible play there for sure. And then so that's that one. Then the other one, Omaha, high low. I've played 89 of them. And this is could be pot limit, could be no limit. They're very similar games. Most of them are pot limit, but I play some no limit as well. Now that one, my ROI is minus 13%. That's despite actually winning one like about 10 days ago. One win, no second places, one third place, and 89. So it's a completely. I mean, there's some big fields there, so not going to quite have so many wins. Some bigger fields, but not always. Some smaller fields as well, sort of comparable to in the draw games. So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I think that's not a huge sample size, but I feel like I'm kind of okay in terms of sample size to make it meaningful. So I'm thinking I'm not saying that's bad luck. I think I'm doing some wrong stuff there. And as I've said before, I can't hand read. So I don't. Well, I feel like I feel like I'm sort of applying the principles that you would for Hold'em about ranges, but it's really hard when I can't tell what somebody else's range is. I kind of sort of have an idea what my range is on the flop or whatever, but somebody else could basically have anything, and I feel like I'm all at sea there. So anyway, you've listened to me talk about uh, what my sort of my record so far. It might not be very interesting to you, but I just thought it was interesting to say I've got a clear problem with that game relative to the other ones. Minus 13, okay. It doesn't mean I'm absolutely hopeless, you know. It's possible to be a lot worse than that, but you know, average is like minus 11. I mean, that is the rate that you pay. So I'm very, very close to that number. So, but why am I not doing better? Could be bad luck, but I'm guessing it's because I'm actually doing a lot of things wrong. That doesn't surprise me because a lot of the time I just simply don't know what the best thing to do is. I really have no idea. That sort of played its way out in my attempts at that so far, despite having a few goes at it. So anyway, that's why I'm kind of getting into five card draw, trying to because I want to have another game where I'm got a better ROI, I suppose, or feel like I can beat it at least. So anyway, this is probably that's enough of me, I think. This is five card draw, so I'm gonna play it right from the start. All my obligations are pretty much over with this weekend. All my work's done, which is great. Had a couple of lessons this morning and this afternoon, including a maths lesson, would you believe? So, not just an English lesson, a maths lesson. So, it's in a different part of town. Took me about almost half an hour to cycle there, I guess, something like that. Got a bit of exercise. Not too bad. Not too bad. Nothing too complicated at all. Actually, that will change, I suppose. Anyway, that's enough for me talking. Must be enough for me talking just about random crap. And now let's play this tournament. So not a good hand to begin with. Very first hand, and that no limit single draw. I might want to do something with this, but alas, this is not that game. I don't know what I'd do now in that game, but obviously obviously nothing I can do with this. Um, one card draw, 1-3-3. See what they do. So we're going to bet. Ooh. Oh, so I was recording, of course. Now I'm recording the recording. So he gets cool. So Gene calls, Gene or Jean, and aces and tens. So yeah, good bet there. It's quite a small bet after the draw, I suppose, wasn't it? Not really paying too much attention. Seems like quite a small bet relative to the size of the pot. I do wonder whether small bet sizing in general is the way to go in this game when you don't hands don't run very close together. So this time just takes that down with this two small pair there. Just don't have a hand. Do not think of drawing to the five. That would be suicidal because you could hit your hand and not win a significant amount of the time. That would be very, very expensive, and you've only got four outs, so complete disaster. To try and do something like that. Also, have a look at aces. Okay, had a royal. It had 80% of a royal flush there too. It's kind of funny. And then we'll look at this one. A nice hand for those with single draw. Really quite a big hand, actually. Pat 9-7. Get a lot of chips in with that. You actually stack off with a hand like that quite often in no limit single draw, actually. Against certain people, it's a slam dunk, get it all in, even as deep as this. So I think this is another thing where five card draw is a bit different to that, is that people are less willing pre to just stack up. So now I've got a good hand. First, I've had a good hand in this tournament. So extremely early stage, only been going for a couple of minutes. So I've got aces. I want to put some money in here because he's just limping in. So I bump it up to 90. Trouble is here is obviously I'm going to show them that I've got a 3 card draw. And he folds, which is interesting. I don't hit. So what's my plan for after the draw? He's got a 2 card draw, so it's after. So he actually pots it, and I don't think long about this. I think I just have to fold, and you just assume that he hit there, or realize he's going to hit sometimes. He might have been slow playing something anyway. It's possible. So what an interesting one this is. So I've actually got a pair of fives and a flush draw. I decide to go with the flush draw, and I hit it. Would you believe? Decide to bet like 80% of the pot. And I get called. Interesting. So I have a lucky hand there, but of course it's only a small pot. That's what he called me with. Nine's not quite good enough from that position. Have no side cards there or anything. Don't block any big pairs or whatever. Yeah, so my '08 record's not very good, is it? Considering we're talking about micro stakes tournaments, 220s, 330s. Shame because those tournaments run quite often. I'd like to get good at them, but it's not happening at the moment. Now I have an open ender and a pair of twos. So with any raising here, I'm just getting out of the way. Like this, even a min raise, I just don't think it's worth it. So I just let it go. Very uneventful so far, hitting that flush, I suppose. Here though, it's worth seeing a draw here if I can. I miss. Probably going to lose this most of the time, especially I won't call any bets. I actually have the best hand, which sometimes it's going to happen. Nothing here. Wonder whether you could. I don't think it's quite a sort of hand you could pat bluff with, but maybe. I don't know. Similar sort of thing here too. Ace King. Want sort of some more high cards to go with that, I feel. Okay. Got a pair of threes. I haven't had a big dealt hand yet. See what I do. I don't hit. Drawing one. He's probably got a draw, or he's got a nice who knows, he could be doing something funny with 2 pair, anything's possible. He bets the pot again, I just let it go. This is obviously garbage. Right, now I've got something. The button, no less. I'll raise it up. Now my bet size, my raise size, I'm actually going for 2.7. I feel like I should be going for more like 2.5, but in the early stages, I feel like there's you're more likely to get called. So I actually feel like going for slightly bigger raise size is better. Now I've got an open ender there, but I'm on the cut off. Probably wouldn't be terrible to raise it up there. For what it's worth, I have the 3 hearts there. So that, I guess it increases the chance that someone else is going to make a flush. Another open ender, right? Another one right here. See what he does. I think, do I decide to go for the open ender? Don't hit it. I felt I was going to bet there. I'm pretty sure I would have bet there had he not bet himself. And another open ender. So I've had 3 consecutive hands where I've had an open ended straight draw. What do I decide to do? I decide to call. And this time I hit. So what do I decide to do here? I think I decided to go for a check raise. Now, if I get three bet, I've got a decision on my hands. I might actually decide to fold if I get three bet. So I go for about three times the original bet. I think if I get three bet here, I'm not loving this. If he calls me, okay, that was good. So I've got value for my hand there. Now I've got a seven draw in the other game. Trip nines, okay, yeah. I think he played that fine. I think I played that fine. So I have made hit a couple of draws. Don't want to play draws too often in this game. I think it's probably a bit of a leak to play too many draws. I even don't know whether that was the right thing to do because it is possible you hit your draw and still lose, right? It's a possibility. That would get very expensive. You don't want to be in that position too often. Okay, here we go. Keep going. Again, I have an open ender, but this time so many open enders. It's amazing. Again, I don't decide to open it up there. There you go, 3, 2. He immediately checks it back, checks it after the draw. He didn't even think about. I was interested he drew 3 there, so he came into the pot without having a pair. I don't know about that. Another open ender. Would you believe it? How many of them am I getting? This time again, I miss. Most of the time, of course, you're going to miss. Did well to hit 1. I'm not going to try and bluff. I mean, actually, check raising here. I don't know whether it would be that bad. So if you don't. And with maybe it's actually quite good with what I have there. The distribution of, you know, is likely to have a big pair there, you know? I mean, no big cards have the jack, no king, queen, ace, whatever. Uh, maybe a raise there would have been a good idea. Since you're looking back and thinking there are opportunities to make a move. I'm not going to get involved with my pair of fives. All that. Again, single draw would have been a nice hand. Single draw, triple draw, and those low ball games. I didn't get eliminated on the first hand, but now this guy, this Kakapuupu's got a wonderful name. I like his name. I think I've actually been to Kakapuupu when I lived in New Zealand. I think I visited Kakapuupu. It was wonderful. I definitely recommend a trip to Kakapuupu next time you go to New Zealand. You might even see a Kakapuupu there, a bird called a Kakapuupu. Maybe it's not actually called that. Anyway, oh god, he got his it's a Kakapuupu. Did you see that? So he patted, right? He patted that. So he patted his junk, and then just check called after the draw. So I'm thinking, what the hell is going on there? Never seen this guy before. So play this again. So replaying it here. I was just like taken aback by this. So he limps in, calls a raise, doesn't discard. The other guy has a genuine pat hand, a pat straight, and then he calls after the draw. So I'm thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? I have no idea. So I seem to have no idea, but I'm cautious here. I've seen this before. People advertise or pretend that they don't have the slightest clue. He's still got 2,600 in chips there. You know, still got close to 90% of what he started with. And he's just shone a great big beacon to everybody, showing that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to get a lot of action suddenly for anybody who's paying any sort of attention. So I'm kind of a little bit cautious here. If I'm Martin Green, I'm thinking if for whatever reason something else happens. So okay, so now there's a break, and when we come back after the break, I've got a monster hand in deuce to seven. I've got number nine, but I also have. So normally I would just throw this away. It's a bad flush draw, but you see, I also have here a gut shot too. So the normal flush draw you have seven outs. Sorry, nine outs. What am I saying? Nine outs. But here you can see I have an extra three outs because my seven. You have to add in the sevens, the three sevens that are not spades. Don't double count them, of course. So I have 12 outs here. Because I have those extra three outs, I decide it's worth over limping here. And I might have even raised it here too, if you hadn't limped. Just because of those extra outs. Of course, you have one out to the seven of spades, which I've never made a straight flush in this game. Have I ever made quads? I don't know. Maybe I did once. I can't remember, actually, off the top of my head. Which again, if you're watching this, is probably laughable because you've probably made like six royal flushes by now or something because you play it so often. Um, so, so this is kind of interesting. Draws three, draws three. How many do you draw? Three as well. Oh, and I hit my flush. Right. So 80. If he gets raised, I think I have to three bet this. Such a small bet. Oh, so now he does raise. He's gonna have trips a lot of the time here. It's a big raise. That's a pot size raise, isn't it? 210. Okay. He could have gone bigger than that. He could have definitely gone bigger. So yeah. 80. Hang on a sec. No, what am I saying? 80, 80 had to call. Um, so he said 370, right? 370 in the pot, and then he raised the 370 on top. That's so it's a pot size. It is a pot size raise. Okay, no, he couldn't have got any bigger than that. So what? So how much? What do I do here? A bit of flush. It's not invincible. Bigger flushes certainly exist. Nearly all flushes are bigger flushes than this. And but he's probably watched this guy too. So he wants to get as much value from him as possible. So because of that, I decided I have to raise. I have to re-raise. Now, do I fold to a shove or something, or do I? I probably have to stack off here. So because his range is going to be wider than average, because if he's paid any attention to this guy, I think he has because he's a regular guy. This one, so I three bet, not huge. And then what does he do? He calls. Ooh, and I take it down, so I get almost a 50% increase to my stack there. Had three tens, right? See, it's hard for him to fold that. Maybe he should have folded. The fact that I was drawing one, so I was representing a draw. Missed. Sometimes, of course, I will draw one to trips, and I could have high. And I wonder whether over limping high trips there wouldn't be such a silly idea sometimes. Maybe I should need to balance that as well. Ace, 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 draw one to that. Ace, 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 king, or whatever I happen to have. So I just got two sevens. It's okay. He just limps. He's limping a lot of stuff here. Doesn't look like he's very good, but you just don't know. He could be just deliberately kind of advertising in the early stages here. Two sevens. I miss, which is what will normally happen. 72% of the time you're going to miss when you're going to completely miss. And anyway, I somehow have the best hand there. It's surprising the hands that you take down with sort of bad pairs sometimes. Have a nice draw in the other game. And so they were both on flush draws. So I was fortunate that neither of them hit. Okay, so this guy kind of seems to have some idea. Anyway. So I have a gut shot to the Broadway, but that'd be a terrible call there. I've made a decent start to this tournament. Decide to fold here. I wonder whether coming like raising would be terrible with the ace king queen combination. Nothing here in this game. Now where's the interesting hand that comes up here? So here I've got a flush draw. It's very close. I decide to fold simply because it's not a strong enough flush draw. I think on the cutoff I figured out that I want to have a decent flush draw, like a king. King is sort of like an average flush draw. Feel that's what I want to have. Because otherwise I feel like I'm going to be raising too much there. So my flush draw range is sort of a little bit, um, it obviously goes up as I go around the table. So from the under the gun, I'm going to want really strong flush draws like king, get rid of everything. And look what I hit. Now what do I do? I think I decided to pop this. I could have check raised, so with two people still to act behind me. And I thought they're not going to believe me that I have a hand as strong as that. It was an amazing hit there to hit three aces. Again, gut shot basically isn't worth anything. Remember, you're 11 to 1 to hit. 11 to 1 to hit your gut shot, right? It's rarely that much. And then the problem is you can lose with your straight sometimes too. That was that hand where I made the flush against the three tens. So nothing here. It's basically I've had a lot of hands that would be fantastic in uh, you know, deuce to seven, either single draw or triple draw actually. So yeah, one in a dozen times you're going to hit. You have four outs from 47 unseen cards. So also look at this. What do I want to do here? I think I decide to get to draw to the nine. I miss. Figure that the nine was a better draw than the flush draw. Obviously more likely to hit something when you draw to the nines. Lose to tens, that's all right. I don't have anything here. So just watch this guy, this Kakapoop, who's now down to about half of what he started with. A small bet. He takes it down. It's interesting, these small bets, isn't it? Some people go for these min bets. I don't think I ever really actually min bet after the draw. We'll go for a small bet, but not that small. Two aces, obviously. I'll raise this up on the cutoff. Now what happens here? Is this the one where something happens? So we go three-way here. 1, 3. So I hit three aces, right? Now I've got to be a little bit careful because Kakapoopoo's drawn once. He might be on a draw. Okay, no, okay. Sorry, I increased my stack a little bit more. Now I've got sixes and fives. Good hand. Want to get some money in here. Go a little bit, just over three times. Draws three. Miss, which I'm going to do most of the time. Again, you only have four outs. It's just like the gut shot. Except that when you miss, you still have some sort of hand. Decide to get it. I don't even think about calling there. Just don't even think about it. It's going to have trips or bigger two pair pretty much all the time there. Nothing here. Pair of jacks. Ugh. I think I'd let it go actually. I think that's okay. Okay. Well, what was this? Okay. Nothing there. This calls the 150 out of position. The small blind draws once. I wonder if he's got like a two pair or something here. Oh, he doesn't. He just has the pair of nines. And that was good enough to win. That's really weird. You'd expect Agallis to have worse than a pair of nines. Did not expect that. So I have to fold my. Well, so I was going to draw to the king and queen. Oliver Poe. Haven't seen him before. We've got a fairly good read on him uh, in a very short space of time because of how he played. Blinds will shoot up very quickly here, actually. Only 8-minute levels, just like the single draw tournament. Uh, so in third place out of 19. So I've made a decent start. So Kakapupu chips up a little bit there. Well, now look what I've got. I've got a pat straight and I've even got a royal flush draw, which so I do. So obviously I pat this. He's drawing two, so I wonder what he's got. Probably has a pair with a kicker or something. Um, so I just decide to bet. I'm going to bet all my pat hands actually. The reason being that I think people get curious when they have trips or whatever. They want to catch people bluffing, pat bluffing. It's kind of an honor or something to do that. And I do need to find some pat bluffs occasionally too. Think about the sort of hands that I should pat bluff with. Ones that block people's strong hands. Kind of a little bit like this, I suppose, but with maybe ace queen, jack nine, ace, queen, jack nine, seven or something. I don't know. Nine eight, ace queen, jack nine eight, something along those lines. You know, I think I even heard someone say you should do it when you don't have like three of the same suit or whatever. I mean, because like you never just because when you actually have one at least one of each suit, it's probably better. You're talking about tiny percentage margins here, I suppose, but obviously if you nearly have a flush, well then the chance that somebody else is going to have a flush goes up a little bit because deck is going to be kind of um, rich or poor in a particular suit. Take out four spades from the deck, well then chance that you're going to have a flush will suddenly go up. So it must be a very, very marginal effect, but I think that a lot of poker is about um, like small percentages and things. Attention to detail. Nothing here. I'm not actually playing a ton of hands. I think I do show my stats in a bit. Just Oliver Poe just cold calls there. We go four ways. Needs to be a word for a family pot that doesn't include me, like an estranged family pot or something. What the word you'd say for that is, but okay. So he just called there, and he had nines and sevens. Interesting. So I'm getting a read on this guy that he doesn't bet his hands very much. So I get some more money in here. Okay, my aces, but the fact he's drawing one. Lost itself. Now I think this is a hand that went horribly wrong. They both draw one, so there's a chance that someone's going to be on a draw, like a straight or a flush draw here. So I do need to be a little bit careful. Okay, and I think I have to call here. I mean, I don't know. Like, what are the odds I'm getting here? So I'm getting 600 to call, 600 to win. There's already 1785 there. And I don't know you from Adam still. Never seen you before. So you do some really weird shit at the beginning. So I'm getting 3-1 on my call here. I can't fold, can I? I mean, I just can't. And he's got a straight, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do there. I mean, can you possibly fold to someone you don't? So I think I take him off green. I think I take him off green. So I'm very, uh, Now I think I must three bet him here. Going to be three betting a hand like that against basically anybody. Unfortunately, I miss. He draws three. Do I call a bet here? Probably not, but I'd have a bit of a tough time there. Hmm. Still got the sun out today. First time I've seen the sun for ages, but the last remnants of it really until sun will be going down in about 3/4 of an hour. Nice hand for the other game. So I'm already changing my notes. I'm very careful not to just pigeonhole somebody very quickly, and then and then it's just like we do with people in real life. You get false first impressions of somebody. In poker, someone can deliberately try to mislead you with their first impression. And then he really changes his play up there too. So three nines. Wow. So he didn't bet the three nines. That was just insane. Just checked. It checked down after the draw, and he had three nines. So now I'm thinking this guy is just incredibly passive. So yeah, I mean, how did he win such a small pot at showdown? That just doesn't make any sense at all. But it's got to bet your hands. So yeah, I remember being amazed at this, not quite believing what I saw. Okay, I will put this video up on YouTube, but really, it's mostly for my benefit. But if somebody wants to give me some feedback, then what am I doing wrong? I'd really like to know. I'm going for about half an hour. Yeah, another big hand in the other game. So 7 or 8 draws, haven't I? So I've had some decent. Well, I haven't had a lot of huge starting hands, but I had those couple of draws early on, which were nice. Especially that straight that I hit ended up being the best hand. I guess that hand against Kakapupu where I had the aces. I mean, you just have to call there. Maybe the against some people you could even think about raising there. I don't know. Felt like it was just a simple call. But it is a tricky one when people draw one, then suddenly it brings all the straights and flushes into play, especially if there was no aggression before the draw, right? That's why I think you need to include trips in your one card drawing range quite a bit of the time too. So here I've got a gush, oh sorry, an open ender, and I quickly let it go. Massive underplay. Oh, hang on. So what happened there? So he did the thing with the trip nines. Sorry, I wasn't commentating on that one. Now, where is it? This one here? It's the next one, right? It's the one before. Okay, so he gets min three bet pre, okay, which is setting off alarm bells for me immediately. You go 1-1, so maybe think maybe he has trips or two pair or something. And then he gets check raised, and then he's got that. And that was just, he just calls the check raise with aces full. He needs to be just piling money in there. I mean, I'm no expert in this game, but that's a massive underplay. Anybody disagree with me here? Anyone wants to make a comment that you need at least quads to do that? Um, yes, that's got to be really bad, hasn't it? Okay, back to that. I completely missed that. I was kind of dreaming here. Ugh. So what did he do? He fold. So I'm beginning to think that that was all just a tease. Everything he did at the beginning of this tournament. So you got really you have 1,700 chips that you probably still shouldn't. Or I mean, I would have probably folded to a re-raise there, but I mean that's. It looks like he was advertising at the beginning, so I wrote that down. I change him now to this blue, meaning that he's actually pretty loose, pretty aggressive, getting involved in a ton of hands. Look at him. Like my VPIP is down, it's 20% or something in this tournament, but I don't know what it is. Something can't be much more than that. His has got to be like 50 or whatever. This is the thing. Some people play a huge number of hands. So I'm guessing this. So I figured out. I actually found. I searched for him, and he's basically he's not a winner. He's a losing player overall, not just this game overall. So he's not an overall winner, but it doesn't just because someone's not an overall winner doesn't mean he's not a hard player to play against. So what he could be doing is just you know, um, bumping up the variance for everybody, and that's not a lot of fun sometimes. Okay, so now I'm not liking this at all. Draws two, so I'm thinking he's got trips most of the time here. And I've got to hit my four out. I miss it. I'm going to fold to any bet here. Yeah, it's just he's got trips all day here. Unless he's doing. I mean, he could. Hats off to him if he does that with some other sort of hand and manages to get me to fold that. I mean, that would be fantastic if he was able to do that. That's just the sort of hands he's shown down. You know, show that he always basically has it. So I've got three nines. Okay. Oh, look at this. I get, I get three bet again. And now I think, well, I can't. I've got three nines here. I can't just. I mean, I know it's a min three bet. I know my alarm bell should be ringing, but with him in as well, I feel I just can't only call here. I mean, that would be insanely passive, wouldn't it? So what do I do? Sure, I put some more money in here. Go for 700, right? So I raised to 700. Okay. What does he do? He calls. Okay. So I'm thinking, well, this is all right. Don't know what he's got. Could have two pair. I still don't have a ton of evidence about him, but so let's see. Can my three nines hold up? Can it be the best hand? Can I even get some money after the draw? Let's see. So we've got four out. I decide to draw one. Oh, and he's pat. Would you bloody believe it? So he's really underplaying everything, and he had a straight. Wow, wow. So I'm just running into stuff here now. Whoa. So I've put him. I make him turquoise, which is when people don't bet their hands. I mean, surely you've had all these huge hands already, and you're not getting value for them. And maybe I should have just gone with my instinct there and thought, well, he's been underplaying everything so much that I just needed to just call the three bet. Draw two probably. So sort of mix up drawing one and drawing two when I have a one card draw. I draw one more often than I draw two. I normally choose to discard my lower side card because I feel it's going to be live. Oh, look what he did there. Wow. So look at all that money you got in there. My gut shot's not worth anything. So suddenly he's up to, well into the 3,000s. Tens here is not enough to get involved. And look how I'm now only 5 places off the absolute bottom. So, interesting. What he was doing, what he was drawing to there. Now he's playing very aggressively all of a sudden. even more aggressively now. So it's making life kind of tricky. It's raising a very, very wide range. So he then, oh, okay. He gets it all in, draws three, and that's insane what you're doing here. He's not. He actually just ran straight into a pat straight, and then he drew three, and he hit his draw. He made the second pair, but that's got to be terrible against anybody, right? To put this much action in before the draw with only one pair. I mean, it's just got the complete contrast of this guy. And yeah, it's really interesting how differently people play. God, Queen again. He raises it up. It was interesting to do over this limp because he's got a one card draw here. He might not be actually he might not be getting any value at all. Oh wow! Unless he's just he has three eights, right? So he's hitting some, and he raised it too, which is interesting. And he got value. I mean, so he's hitting some big hands. It's always better to, let's say, it's always better to be lucky than good in the short term. I feel like he's playing very aggressively. And he's certainly getting his big hands paid off now. Just obviously getting a bit lucky. I'm getting card dead right now. That's all right. Um, so now I've got a pretty big hand. Oof. Oh dear. What do I decide to do is he's been so aggressive, but I just felt that even there I couldn't call there. Wow. Just look how few chips I've got all of a sudden. All just running away. I mean, and maybe that was a tight fold. Maybe I should have called there. It's just such a big raise. I just didn't feel I could make the call. But I mean, against somebody normal, I'd be folding there. But wow, maybe I needed to call. It's kind of got a full house. I mean, life's easy when you can do that, isn't it? 8,000 in chips, two tens. Decide to fold, I think here. Going to be behind most of the time to somebody. This has been kind of fascinating with you in here. Nines and fours. So, oh, hang on. Did he? What happened there? Can I just go back a little bit? Back a little bit more. So draws one. One, one, one. Okay, they're all drawing one with in this limped pot, right? And he bets sort of three quarters of the pot, and he gets called by the nines and fours. Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, it's good. I think that bet's quite nice actually. Quite like it. And problem with that is that this guy, if he's getting involved at all in a pot, he's drawing one. He's probably actually got something. He's drawing one. He's got to have two pair a lot of the time. He's so passive. Like again, he's limping the button. I do not have a button limp range. I limp 0% of my hands in any game on the button, actually. Open limp, I mean. Just it cannot be optimal. Three threes, okay. It gives you a chance to take the blinds. Why would you not want to take that opportunity? It's just such a profitable thing to be able to do. Two tens here, down to almost basically down to about 1,000. Again, I'm pretty sure I fold. So I'm really up against it now. So that you're going to get people coming in here as well. There's no real problem in doing that 'cause it's not a bounty tournament. Bounty tournaments in this game do exist too, though. Pair of nines enough. And now Kakapupu has gone. So now I'm thinking, well, the chance of me making a comeback might have just gone up a little bit. Don't have him to worry about. I don't have a lot of chips, but he's at 22nd out of 24 at the moment. You can see. And what's really interesting about that is I think I went through a run there, see there, where I think I went 40 hands or something without winning a single one. So I had 40 consecutive hands without winning one. When you play at a 5 or 6 handed table, that is going to hurt you. That's really going to hurt you. Um, that, yeah, so you can see, I think it was something like 20 minutes, which is about 40 hands. What was it? Maybe it also maybe 30 hands, 30 to 30, 35, something like that. So now I've got this big hand. I've managed to pick up kings here, three of them. You get nice. You managed to call. That's all right. I just hope he doesn't, make a full house or something here. I call him and hope he hasn't made a boat. Well, I don't know what he's playing at there, honestly. No idea. I draw two. Decided to draw two that time. That's because I'm likely to be going all in anyway. So you just want there's no deceptive value or very little deceptive value. You just want um give yourself the best opportunity of hitting a good hand. So that was so weird what he did there. I don't know what that was about. So again, he just got rid of all his stack there with basically nothing. So there are people in this game who are terrible as well, right? Just decide to go for three times. Okay, interesting that he decided to fold. And make aces and kings, aces up. Bet 60% of the pot, and I take it down. It's back to what I started with all of a sudden. So, and here I've got a flush draw and a pair of queens. The pair of queens are much more useful. Take it down. Pair of jacks. I think that's enough in this position. I mean, four-handed table now, right? Calls. So we got three. I'm on three as well. I make a third jack. That's quite nice. So to bet about half his remaining stack. He folds, unfortunately. So we're running a lot better. Raise to 300. Calls. Draws one though. It's oh, would you believe it? So I thought, well, the chance of me losing that's got to be pretty slim. Okay, he was drawing one, right? Is that right? Yeah, he was drawing one. But even so, I mean, that surely you've got to you've got. I mean, I was kind of lucky in some ways that he had such a small stack, but there's nothing you can do surely but to just um, put put all your money in. I mean, he's going to have um, chance he's going to hit that straight draw. Okay, wow, it's a little bit unfortunate. It's such a strong hand there, but again, it could have been disastrous if he'd had a bigger stack. I miss. Bit difficult this. But we need to and now he hits fives and fours, okay. Pair of jacks. Take that down. A lot more active now, I'm just getting a lot more hands. Thing here though. Oh, he's a flush. He's a pat flush. A little bit of money in here. It's gonna call me. So the problem with a pat flush is that it's like flashing lights. I've got a pat hand. Just see if he calls me here. Does he call me here? Trying to remember what happened. He does. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to now. Do I? What do I do? Oh, and should I have got all my money in there? It's so that was such a weird play because he's. I mean, I'm advertising that I've got. I don't think. I think actually. I think what I did there was fine because I actually. I've got a pat hand. So by him doing that, he's he's turning his fives into a bluff, right? Uh, so and with such a strong hand that I actually had there, such a strong pat, there's no way I can fold there. But I don't think I can re-raise there because then I'm kind of only beating a bluff, aren't I? I mean, would you check raise there with a flush or a weaker flush for value? Maybe there'd be a really really tiny range that I'm ahead of in that case. So if you don't beat if you hardly beat any value hands, then you know you shouldn't raise. Because surely I mean I don't know if I put him all in there, would he have just folded or what? Would he have maybe he would have called thinking that I was full of shit or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, what an interesting one that was. So now I'm up over 4,000 thinking, well, I'm sort of in business again now. Right. I said I was going to I was going to put up this video no matter what happens. So it's actually been kind of interesting, the progression of this tournament so far. It's okay in a different game, but not really in this game. So yeah, I make a note of that to my pat hand that he's did that with. Just got a pair of sevens. Now I'm sure if he limps the button there, he's either got the only thing I could possibly be ahead of is a draw. Um, and when he raises, so that's an interesting raise that against somebody as passive as that. But his aces were good enough, so I think this guy had a draw. Or maybe he had a maybe he limped. No, he couldn't have had a draw. He drew three. What was I decided to do here? Decided to draw one. Okay. And I hit. Wow, so I've hit some draws today. He folds, which is a bit of a shame. I'll take that down as well. So I haven't. Can I capitalise on this? Can I kick on from here? I've got a pair of sevens. Okay, that's enough. I'm just going to walk. Got a pair of fives here with a bunch of Broadway cards, but so even with the min raise, I'm not loving that at all. So I've now got two pair, not great, not a great two pair. So now I'm thinking, well, if he's calling, he's actually going to have a better two pair than me quite often the way he plays. So I just let this go. I feel that I'm behind his range there. I mean, who knows? He's a big hand here for a different game. I've had a lot of them, haven't I? But just and maybe he can now exploit his image. I mean, he should now by bluffing. So what do I decide to do here? Don't really like drawing four very much, so I decided to draw three. I actually hit pretty well. I only bet 40% of the pot. That kind of could be exploitable, couldn't it? But he calls me, so I do get some value for that. Just in the pair of aces. Hmm. There you go. Not a very nice name, Spit Sick, is it? Didn't think about that at the time, but just, Spit. Oh God, you kind of overplayed that a bit, I think, against that guy. He managed to make another full house. Wow, how many full houses are we going to see here? Monsieur Boo. So I've got jacks, some blockers. I miss. Hit another blocker to a strong pair, but you could easily have aces. Those is certainly in his range. That's actually what he has. That's because I didn't block any of the aces. Unblock them by not having any. Hmm. Thing going on right now. It's number 13 in the other game. Much more au fait with that game. Much more in my comfort zone there. I feel like I'm sort of getting to grips with this a little bit, but the hand read is kind of interesting because you don't know quite what people's draws mean. Sometimes if someone's drawing one, it can mean a whole lot of things. And what to do actually. Um, so here are just okay. So I've got a lot of blockers. Whether that's a good thing, I don't know. Size again, just about 40%. I do get called, so again, I've managed to get value, especially because I drew four. I don't think I'd have bet that if I'd just drawn three. And actually, so he actually had two kings despite the fact that I had one in my hand. So I got a really thin value there. Yeah, I think that was quite good, really, just getting that little bit of value. Ooh, don't really like this hand. It's an open end on the button. I want it to be a little bit bigger than a nine high. Um, I'll let this one go. Nothing here. So there are actually 20 draw tournaments per day. There's including triple draw and this and five card draw and Badugi. So a little bit of a variety of games there. So some of them are at night, some of them when I have to work. So I can't. I mean, there's no way I can actually play very many of them. Though I think it'd be fun one day to try to play all 20 draw tournaments in a day. So a 24-hour draw marathon. Um, you know, different stake levels and everything. See how I get on. Be fun. I mean, be buggered afterwards, but fun to try. Maybe I should do that sometime. Maybe in the summer I'll try it. I don't know. Maybe I could try it this winter if I've got over Christmas. A draw marathon. Because it would take more than 24 hours actually. Because that kind of overlap. So I have to find the most convenient 24-hour slot to play it in. I don't know if I'll actually do that, but it's an idea. Oh, okay, so he got his queens. Oh, whoa. Queens ran into the eights ran into the queens there. Yeah, I've got number 10 in juice to 7. So to replay this one now, what actually happened. It's okay, three bets. So he raises to 3 times what I meant to say. And he gets raised, it's min raised. It's min raised after the draw. Is that good play? It's probably the sort of thing I would have done actually. And then yeah, sort of thing I would have done. Probably how I would have played that hand too, actually. Hmm. So I've got a flush draw here. It's like the last hand I'm playing this, and that before I uh, end this part of the video, and then I'm going to put up another part too. Now I obviously fold. Okay. So 3,500. I decide. Oh well, I'm gonna have to wait for the next video to see what this hand actually is. Right? Is it going to be ace ace, ace 10, 10 10? Let's see. Well, I have to wait. Wait for the next part. Okay, I'll be with you again. Don't go away.